Morning, this is your Math Sensei, Mr. Spensei, and this is STAAR Review Test 2023, problems 13 through 22. An experiment examined the relationship between the number of miles a car traveled, Y per gallon in gasoline, and the speed of the car, X in miles per hour. So we notice we have miles per hour in this column and gallons here. The table displays the data collected. A quadratic function, this is going to be a key phrase, can be used to model the data in the table, which value best estimates the miles per gallon. I have to warn you that there's a typographical in this table, and if you don't fix it, it will not work. You need to scratch out that 20 and make it a 30.0. Okay, so when I have this, gosh, I'm not even sure what to do. And another thing was, which value estimates 65 miles an hour? So I have a table. I know it's a quadratic. Because I know those things, I can go ahead and switch over to Desmos, which I'm about to do. And we're going to input all that entire table, which will take a moment to do, but we'll do so. To do that, you're going to press the plus button, press table, and enter 20, enter 30, enter 35, enter 40, enter 50, enter, and 60, enter. Once you have that, you can go ahead and input the Y values, which is the gallons per mile, 24.9, 28.3, 29.1, 30.1, 30. Please make sure you change that 20 to a 30 there, and then 29.1. I've done that, and I have, okay, I kind of see that I kind of have a little bit of a curve there, but if I hit this button, the domino button, it says, it goes, oh, linear regression. We don't want linear regression. We want quadratic. So we press the arrow, and the next one is quadratic, and there's our curve. Okay. Now, that's our equation right here. So I'll click that. It drops it in. Now, it asked us to find it when it was 65. So I'm going to go ahead and press parenthesis 65, and I'm going to get rid of that X. And I have to put the 65 here. Make sure you're putting it in parentheses. And the X has got to go. And I get an answer of 27. So it wants to know what it is at 65. Well, at 65, that's approximately right here because this is 60. And I'm going to zoom in just a little further. And there's 65. That's what we care about right there. And it's like, oh, at 65, it looks like it's about 25.87. I'm going to go ahead and write that down on my paper. So we have 65, comma, 27.87. And basically all we did was that we had Y equals negative 0.007337 parenthesis X squared plus 0.6866866 X plus 14.1. All right. So this was our equation, and then I plugged in 65 here, and I also plugged in 65 there. But when I did that, it gave me 27.87. And they said, oh, when it's 65, we're expecting it to be 27.87. The one that closest to that is A. Tough problem, but very doable as long as you remember to use the quadratic and then plug in 65 for the X. Researchers studied the population of town over time and modeled the data using an exponential function. Okay, as soon as I see exponential, I should be thinking y equals a parentheses b raised to the x power. A is my y-intercept. It's also my start. So, hey, the initial amount, that's my start. This is telling me this is A. So this value right here, this A, is going to go there. After the first year, the population of the town was 50,400. Okay. So first off, we know A is 48,000. Well, if we know A is 48,000, that gets rid of B, and that also gets rid of C. So now we're down to these two. But this doesn't give me growth, all right? And they tell me it's growing, so I need a value greater than 1. If it's growing, B is greater than 1 is growth. B is less than 1 is decay. Well, guess what? Let's divide these out. I'm going to use the calculator. You can use Desmos, but I'll use the calculator. 5,400 divided by 48,000. Oh, that's 1.05. So this is 1.05. That's greater than 1. When I do this one, 1 divided by 54,000, I get a really small number. I actually get B equals 0.0000185. That's less than 1. This is decay. This is growth. My answer to A, to number 14 is A. This is represented decay. Okay, moving on. By the way, there's also another typo on this one. This should be marked with the letter D. So we have A, B, C, D. The graph of the function f of x equals y is transformed to such that g of x equals 3 times f of x. Ooh, tricky. First off, this means y equals x. So I'm going to go ahead and write that. We have y equals x is one equation. And here we have f of x. So this is what we have. But f of x equals x. Well, guess what? That means, oh, if f of x is x, I can replace this f of x and I can write g of x equals 3 times f of x is x. So I can just replace f of x with x. So g of x equals 3 times x. So really, this new equation is y equals 3 parentheses x. So let's go to Desmos and graph those two equations. We know this one represents f. And we know this one represents g, and we want to keep track of those because otherwise this will get confusing. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit adjust my camera, and we're going to go y equals x and y equals 3 of x and see what happens when we go to Desmos with that. So sharing my screen. And y equals x. And let's zoom out because we want to get the whole graph. There it is. So in this case, y equals x is in green, and it goes through 0, 0. So I'm going to stop my share for just a second and notice that on my graph. So f has to go through 0, 0. Well, that means this is f. Well, the f's matched exactly. So we'll leave that alone. It didn't tell us a whole lot. Now we need to place our g. So I'm going to go back over to Desmos, and we already had the y equals x, and we're going to add the next one. And the next one is y equals 3x. Oh, and this gives me a purple line. I don't have purple. I'm going to shade it in pink. But in this case, it's steeper. So our original line looks something like this. And our new line, and I'm just drawing this on my paper, is going to be steeper than that. So I need to find the one that looks like that. So I'm going to go ahead and stop my share and go, okay. Oh, they cross. They're not parallel. All right. Well, this one, I need my G to be steeper. Well, this one's not steeper. This one is. Answer choice for number 15 is D. This next problem is tricky if you don't understand what they're asking. What is the quotient represented by the expression of this for all values where the expression is defined? First off, I see this, and this is an exponent. Excuse me, this is a quadratic. And the reason I know it's a quadratic is because this is raised to the second power. So I'm going to rewrite that part and go, this can be written as 8x squared minus 20x minus 12. I got rid of the w so I could place it in the Desmos. So I'm going to need to place this in the Desmos. And what they're asking for is, hey, this quotient means dividing. So if I take this number, this 2x plus 1, I should be able to multiply it by one of the answer choices and get exactly the same graph. So I'm going to plug this in first in one line, then I'm going to plug this in and then stick in answer choices, A, then B, then C, then D, until I find the one that lies directly on top of it. So I'm going to move over to Desmos and give this one a chance. And we have negative 8x squared minus 20x minus 12. And there's my, and oh, it's not a negative. It should have been a positive. That's a mistake. 8x squared. So there it is. There's my graph. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit, make it a little bit bigger. And the denominator that they gave me was 2x plus 1. So I'm going to plug that in and put it in parentheses. 2x plus 1. Always want to use parentheses. And then we're going to add the first answer choice, which is 4x plus 12. That one didn't work. So it's clearly not A. I'm going to mark that out. The next one is 4x minus 12. And all of a sudden, the two of them lie directly on top of each other. Okay, I'm going to hide this one. And then I put this one back. It lays directly on top of it. That's what we're looking for. So the answer choice is 4x minus 12. I'm going to write that down because that's when it laid directly on top. So when I did this, I got a parabola, and then this second parabola laid directly on top of it. So my best answer choice to 16 is B. Moving on to number 17. Which ordered pair is the solution of y is less than 3/5 x minus 6? We're going to deal with all of this in a moment. Actually, I'll deal with some of it right now. Less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to, get a solid line. Less than, this, and this, less than, get a dash line. On these, if it's on the line, it counts. On this, if it's not on a line, it doesn't count. Now, ideally, what would happen is you'd go, well, this is y equals mx plus b. B is my y-intercept, so I'm starting at -6. And my slope is positive 3/5. So I want to point out the angry slope man, positive. So we have a positive slope, so we need to be going up. This is a negative slope, undefined slope. That's what the U is for. And the X tells me X equal. Horizontal slope is 0. That's what the Y, and it tells me that it's a Y equals. See if I can get the lights back on. There they go. And we have a positive 3/5. So that means we're going up 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then down 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as I said, this will get a solid line. Now, I would like for you to in this case, to be able to graph it that way, but we're going to use Desmos in a moment to check it out in case you can't. All right, so if you can graph it that way, this is awesome. So there we go. There we have our line. I'm going to go ahead and go to Desmos real quickly before we start dealing with where to shade, because we have an inequality, so we need to know where to shade. So sharing. And we have y equals 3 divided by 5. Unfortunately, Desmos does not let us put the inequality in. Also doesn't like caps lock. X minus 6. And there we go. There's our, and so we have some points. We have a 0, -6. We have a 10, 10. We want another point. We could click around and find other points, but that'll work for us. Okay. So we have 0, -6 and 10, 10. And I can have label if we wanted to, but that gives us 2 points that we could have plotted. We plotted those 2 points and we're good to go. So once we plot those points, connect the dots. Now I need to graph these. Please remember alphabetically it's X and Y. So we have +5 and -4. That point is right there. Then we have, and this is A, and I'm gonna go ahead and label this A. Then we have -2 and -5. And this is point B. And then we have +9 and +1. This is point C. And then we have -8 and +3. So this is point D. So they want to know which one is where it belongs, okay? Which is less than. And remember, this is a less than sign. Less than, greater than, less than, greater than. Actually, this is less than or equal to, this is greater than or equal to, this is less than, and this is greater than. So this is less than. Well, I like to picture a tree falling, okay? If the tree falls on you, it's less. If you're on top of the tree, it's greater, okay? And you're like, well, that worked for that one. What about the other direction? Good question. So with the other direction, if we had it going this way, he's above the tree, still greater. If you're below the tree that falls on you, it's less. So if the tree would fall on you, it's less than. So we need the part that's less than. So we need this part right here. And clearly we see that answer choice A is the one that is less than because the tree would have fallen on top of them. Okay, which statement about p to the x equals -4, -7, parenthesis 4 to the x? Well, I see that and I go, oh, this is an exponential. So y equals a parenthesis b raised to the x power. A is my initial or start. B is greater than 1 is growth. B less than 1, decay. In this case, it's 4. So we have growth right there. Our initial amount is -7. So this is our -7. This is our start. So let's see what happens. So it's like it asked me these questions, and I honestly don't remember the answers to these. I have to go back and always study this. But I know this, I can plug this into Desmos and see what happens. So that's what we're going to do. So eliminating all this material, and then we have -7, parenthesis 4. I'm going to use a little typewriter there. Get that. That way I can type in an X. And we get this graph. Okay. So what do we notice? Well, we know we have a graph that's going down. And the first thing, the domain is all real numbers greater than or equal to 4. It's like, no, the X domain is the X's, and this goes to -infinity, so it can't be A. The range is all real numbers less than 0. Well, maybe it's definitely negative, but is it less than 0? So let's zoom in a bit. Now, please remember, exponentials have asymptotes. And it's like, gosh, it looks like it's getting really close to zero. Is it getting to zero? And not there. And I zoom in a little further. It's like, oh, the more I zoom in, it shows that it almost gets to zero, but it never gets to zero. So our range is negative infinity, less than y, less than zero. So if I were to write this out, and I just did it on a paper, and I'm going to show you that in a second, this is what it would look like. Negative infinity, less than y, less than zero. We don't include this part, so y is less than zero. All real numbers less than zero. So our best answer choice to 18 is B. The graph of a quadratic function is shown on the grid. Which statement appears to be true? The function has three zeros. You'll either have, the only choices would be two zeros, 1 0, or 0 zeros. It either touches twice, which this one does. This one has two zeros, all right? Or it touches once, which would look like this, only touched it once, or it doesn't touch it. The maximum value is 3. When I look at this, my max value is right here, and it's at 4. So the maximum value occurs at the maximum value is not 3, it's 4. The vertex text of the graph is 4, 1. Be so careful with this. This is an X and this is Y. My vertex in this case is 1, 4. See how they try to trick you? Always check your X and Y's. So this is false. The equation of the line of symmetry is X equals 1. So the axis of symmetry for this class will always be an X equal. But what does X equal? Well, X will always go through the vertex. And in this case, X equals 1. Those match up. This is my line of symmetry. The line of symmetry cuts the graph in half. Oh, domain. They didn't ask for it, but we need to talk about it while we're here. Domain, that's the X. All real numbers. Why? Because we have arrows that go to negative infinity, less than X, less than positive infinity. The range is the Y. We have arrows going to negative infinity, less than Y, less than our highest value of 4. We don't include this part, so Y is less than or equal to 4, all real numbers. So that's number 19. The answer choice is D. Number 20. Easy Desmos question. Yes, I could teach you how to do it, but we're not going to. Which expression is equivalent to the square root of 600? All you have to do is flip into Desmos, which we're going to do. We're going to plug in this, and then we're going to see which ones give us the same as the answer choice. Okay. And I'm going to hit the typewriter, hit the keyboard, square root, and we had 600. I just plug that in. So I need 24.4948. So that's what I'm looking for. And the very first one was 6 square roots of 10. And that equals 18.97. That's wrong. So the next one, 10 square roots of 6. And we get exactly the same thing. So 24.4948. B matches. So B is my answer. So these two match. That's my answer. Answer to 20 is B. A line is labeled on the coordinate grid. What statement is true? First off, when I see that line, I need to think about the angry slope man. This is negative. This is positive. I have a vertical line. Oh, that means my slope in this case is undefined. And remember, this has an X and this has a Y. So this is a horizontal, But here we have an undefined slope. That's what the nose is made of. So the slope is undefined. So we go, oh, that part's easy. Slope is undefined. We also see it's an x equal. So that should tell me it's this. But let's check it out. What does x equal? When I draw a line through the axis, x equals -4. So A, the equation of the line is x equals -4. Okay. The graph of a line linear function f is shown. What is the zero of f? They could have asked for the zero. They could have asked for the x-intercept. Sometimes they'll ask for a root. All of those mean the same thing. They all mean what is it when y equals 0. So basically they're looking for where does it cross the x-axis, the x-intercept. Well, when I look at this, it crosses directly at 2. So my answer to letter C is 2. All right. Hope this helped. Look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks for watching.